It's August 24th, 2018.
And this is Nerd Bourbon episode 64. I'm Seth Sturgill.
And I'm Todd Sturgill.
Now, Todd, before we get started today, does this shirt do anything for you? Let me give you a closer look here as I slowly tilt the webcam down. Can you make out what's happening here?
I'm seeing, like, I'm assuming that's supposed to be like an American flag sort of thing at the top.
Uh-huh.
I'm seeing a bunch of flowers.
It's like a floral sort of design. But the silhouette, do you know what the silhouette is?
I can't really tell from
Can you read that?
Super Mario.
Yeah, so it's a silhouette of Mario.
Oh, yeah, now I see it, actually. Yeah.
And he's jumping, as Mario is wont to do. And yeah, he's got several different designs going throughout his silhouette. Does that shirt do anything for you, Todd?
I mean, I don't mind it.
Do you feel the stirrings of arousal when you see
I mean,
when you see that shirt?
I think my shirt's better, but that's just me.
What's your shirt? Because you don't let me see your
well,
webcam.
because at the moment, like, OBS is weird. Like, you can't ever see my webcam.
Describe it to me.
Well, I'm gonna show everybody else. It's the Moonlight Greatsword Bonfire.
Oh, that's a good shirt.
Yeah,
It's a good one.
love
Very
that shit.
on brand for you.
Oh yeah,
Both,
I wear like almost nothing but Dark Souls shirts.
We're both wearing good shirts today, Todd. I've got my. Let me ask you this: do you know anything about my mug here? Do you know what that is? Café du Monde.
I do not.
So Café du Monde is a very famous cafe in New Orleans that Anastasia and I visited when we went there, and I almost died. And very, very good beignets.
Okay.
And very, very good coffee. And it's funny because, like, I can't remember if I described this on the podcast. Maybe I'm repeating this story. But I went there, and one thing that's weird about Café du Monde is they only take cash. So, like, and I was completely unprepared for that. So, like, when we went down there and
that's a thing. Not just that, like, there's like always like it's usually like some like really old school places. They like never upgraded, so just like cash only.
Yeah, it's cash only, and I just felt like a total asshole because they've been around since 1862. And it's 24 hours a day, like 24/7, 365. They never close.
But the real question is, do they have an ATM in there?
No, so what I ended up having to do was, and it was kind of funny because New Orleans, for those that don't know, and I guess it should be somewhat obvious, but a very strong French influence, and Café du Monde specifically is considered a French market coffee stand.
Mm.
And it has kind of like French architecture in New Orleans, which is kind of why the city's so beautiful. When you're not looking down at the piles of just like human shit and used needles on the ground. But the architecture is gorgeous. And so it was funny because like I had to leave Anastasia there at the cafe and like run down the street to find an ATM. And I went to like 4 different places and like none of them had ATMs and stuff, and like I felt like I was in a weird like French movie, I guess. Like I could just hear like the fucking accordion playing in the background, playing like La Vie en Rose or something like that. And it was just like, I don't know, like I felt weird. I'm like, I have to get to the ATM for cash for the cafe. Like it just felt like like I felt like a weird French, like I was like a French fish out of water.
I'm honestly, speaking of like that sort of situation, it's just like, what? Come on, it's like 2018. You got a fucking ATM, or like upgrade your shit, or like upgrade your shit. Like, come on.
Yeah, and the waitress, who was nice, but she pointed at a sign that says like cash only, small sign, dude. Like small, like I like it's like no wonder I didn't notice.
Like I understand wanting to deal with only cash, but it's just like, come on. Like I you know how often I actually have cash in my wallet, like.
It's rare.
Exactly. Like I mean, back when I was younger, I maybe used to keep like at least like $20, $40 of cash. like at a time. But like that shit's dead. Like I just
For
have
me,
my
it
debit
depends
card.
on the situation. Like if I'm carrying cash, like I'll carry cash when I'm going. Like when we go to Star Wars Celebration
Oh
the
yeah,
next day.
that's a different thing. Like, cause cash makes shit
Well,
easy at that point.
well, and it's also just because like I don't know if I'm going to go there. There's going to be some like limited edition thing that I really want, and the vendor is not going to accept cards or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I want to make sure I have cash for that. And then like, you know, downtown Chicago, whenever we like pop out for food or something, I'm not really worried about that. You know, everybody's gonna take cards, but it's
Oh,
still it's
by
weird
the
to me.
way, I'm gonna say this when all this shit happens. I think one of those days, like maybe like afterwards, but either way, I think we gotta get Anastasia some super dog.
That's true. How close is that?
It's not close, dude.
Yeah. So
It's
we'll
like
have
from
to
where
go
I'm
out of
at,
our
dude.
way.
It's at least like a 30-40 minute drive.
That's fine. Yeah,
But
we'll
it's
have to.
like it's worth it though. You know,
Here's the thing: Anastasia is not a hot dog fan, but the thing about it is,
there's more than the hot dogs there.
well, sure, but she's a Chicago style hot dog fan, and
Ah,
she's never even had a real Chicago style hot dog.
yeah.
You know,
I mean, there's
with
some people that would consider like super dog not like a not a.
That's not really, yeah. Superdog's not really like a typical
It's their
Chicago
own
style hot
it's
dog.
their own flavor of a Chicago style, and I love it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's great. But yeah, it's just gonna be funny when she goes up there and I feel like she's gonna be a little bit mind blown when she actually, because she'll go to Sonic and get like a Chicago style hot
I
dog
don't
and
even
she
want to know it.
likes it.
Like I'm like I am very elitist when it comes to that shit. Like I was in like where the hell was I? It was my sister Molly and her well fiance now. Um,
Yeah,
soon to actually be married, but we were in like Michigan, I think, and they're like,
hmm
"Oh, we got Chicago style dogs," and I think all of us looked at it, we're like, "We'll be the judge of that."
I hate that shit. Especially like down here in Louisiana, and conversely, I hate it when I'm up north and it's like, oh, some down home Louisiana cooking. I'm
It's
like,
like
what the fuck?
it's like the person who actually lives there, like, we'll be the judge.
Right. Well, it's the regionality thing, and you know it's
Yeah,
funny because Alton Brown said this in his episode of Hot Ones. God, this intro is like all over the place. Um,
it's just a conversation right now. It's just
yeah, Alton Brown said this in his episode of Hot Ones, where he said like regionality has sort of killed food a little bit because once a region thinks that they have like the handle on something,
yeah,
the
yeah.
quality immediately goes down.
I do agree with that.
I agree with it too because like you go to these places they're like, oh, we have the best whatever in the region, and like all of a sudden it sucks. You know what I mean? Because they get comfortable and they're okay with just making money off of the tourists. You know. But I wanted to talk. Have you ever gone down a just weird internet rabbit hole? Like you ever do that?
I live on the internet, so yes.
I just like I go down weird rabbit holes all the time. Like I a couple nights ago. So I've been sick. I'm mostly over it now. There's still a little bit of lingering, you know, schmutz or whatever. But I've been sick. And so I've been eating these fucking Hall's honey lemon cough drops like they're candy,
Oh,
dude.
bro, that's whenever on the rare chance I get like sick the way you are right now, that's what I go for.
Yes. I've just been like when I'm at work, there's just constantly one in my mouth. Um yeah, go ahead and laugh. Um
I was gonna make the joke, but it's already implied, so it's fine.
there's just constantly one in my mouth when I'm at work, coming at me from all sides.
God
Uh,
damn.
no, but I was thinking to myself as I was slowly sucking on my halls,
Is that what
um,
you're sucking on?
as I was sucking on it, I was thinking to myself, I wonder what it would be like to just bite into a honeycomb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people do that. They just eat honeycomb.
Oh yeah, it's like if you get like it's actually one of our family members actually does that, like sells honey, like does
Oh,
that shit.
what? Mhm.
Mark, do you remember? You know what I'm talking about? One of
Yeah.
yeah, he does that shit. I think he actually like sells it to like because I know my uncle Ronnie, my mom's brother, buys that shit from him and all that crap.
So is he like a beekeeper?
I don't know if he maybe I wouldn't say he probably does it as more of a hobby and then sells whatever he gets.
I see.
I don't know like the actual deal, but I do know he sells it. Like he gets like that or like that raw shit, you know.
But I'm very intrigued by the idea of just like getting a honeycomb and just biting it, like the texture. I feel like Diego Luna right now. The texture of yaba. I want to know the texture of the honeycomb when you bite it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that crunchy but also sticky like texture. I don't know. Like I'm fascinated.
See, a part of me is like, because the way that he that Mark does it is like it's just like bathed in the honey basically, like in the jar.
Right.
So I feel at that point like there would be no crunch. It would just be like this.
Well, so honey, like the structure of a honeycomb, it's just wax.
Yeah.
Right? It's just literally beeswax, and like, so what people often do is they'll bite into it, and they'll sort of suck the honey out of it and then spit out the wax. Or you could swallow the wax. The wax is edible, but I don't know. Like I've never done that. Like I really want to do that, and I went down this weird. What's that?
I said I feel that. I'd do it.
I don't know. There's something about that fascinates me. It's just such a natural food. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get more natural than that. And then honey's also considered like a superfood, I guess, if you want to be an idiot. But I went down this weird rabbit hole of like looking up like honeycomb videos, and spoiler alert, most of them are ASMR videos. And I was not into that. I tried to watch, I'm a fan of ASMR. I tried to watch an ASMR honeycomb video, and I was like, nope.
Was it weird or what?
Well, it wasn't weird. I just did not like the noises.
Oh.
I mean, just imagine that. Just imagine like that close up. Like if you don't like mouth sounds, that is like.
Is it just like is it actually like a bunch of like the bees and shit, or is it just?
No. Like it's
just
people
the legit
eating
honeycombs. Okay.
Yeah, it's people eating honeycombs.
Oh no! What?
Yeah, like if you Google or if you YouTube like eating honeycomb, it's almost exclusively ASMR videos.
I don't want to hear mouth noises. Fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't like intense mouth noises like that. I don't mind the natural mouth noises sometimes that come with like talking.
I mean, but, I know you don't like my mouth noises.
Sometimes they're bad. Well, when you eat, they're bad. I don't like that. But yeah. So it's just littered with ASMR videos. But I did fall down a weird rabbit hole of like learning about bees, and there's a bunch of like beekeeping YouTube channels that I like spent hours watching for no reason at all. Like, I was watching this guy like talk about the concept of bee queens and like having to integrate them into a new colony, like a new hive.
Yeah,
it's really fucking interesting. Like if you and like it's weird because now like whenever I go on YouTube, all of my recommended videos are like bee videos.
Yeah. That happens to me all the time. Like I watch like a couple videos of some bullshit, and then the entire recommended is that. I'm like, cool.
Anastasia's like she like lives on YouTube. YouTube is basically Anastasia's television at this point. Like she just she subscribes to a bunch of channels, and that's basically her version of TV now. But she was like, what's with all these fucking bee videos? You're some sort of weirdo just watching like bees. And I was like, I don't know. They're really fascinating. And it's fascinating too if you see these experienced beekeepers just like no protection at all, just handling these bees. Like no fear of being stung whatsoever. You know what I mean? Like no gloves, no nothing. Just handling these bees. It's weird. Because they're a hive mind. Like he was showing a video of like a hive, what it looks like when a hive rejects a queen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god! And they're just trying to kill her. You know what I mean? And it's just a big ball of like 40 bees just like trying to murder this bee queen that they're rejecting.
Damn.
And he's just reaching into the ball of bees, just like shaking them off. And he's like, "I'm not worried about getting stung. They're solely focused on killing this queen. They don't care about me." So he's like not worried at all about getting stung, and they don't care to sting him.
That's interesting.
It's really interesting, dude. I sat there and watched like 2 hours of bee videos.
See, my level of like down the rabbit hole usually leads to me watching like earwax extractions.
Oh yeah, because you're into that shit.
I
You're
love
into
that
like the
shit.
pimple
Like the
popper and
pimple popper, like earwax extractions. The thing, and there's actually something weird about it. Like a lot of the videos, I get annoyed if they don't show me the aftermath.
now. What do you mean by the aftermath? Like you want
Like
to
I
see
want to
like the
see
tray?
all of it, all the shit that was taken out of the air. I want to see it lined up.
That's gross.
I don't understand it. I just
I can't see. Anastasia's like that too. I can't get down with that. That
like
grosses
dude,
me
I'm,
out.
I'm I'm sitting there watching like Dr. Pimple Popper. You know, like she actually has a show now. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, she actually has like a TV show now.
On what channel? Like, is it
I
like a
I think it's the same
Discovery?
channel that 600 Pound Life is.
Okay.
Was
Is
it?
it just?
It
Is it
might be
basically
TLC or
just?
something. I don't know.
Yeah. Is it basically just like
It's
just popping
basically.
pimples?
I mean, it's she does more than like what she. I mean, it's the same shit she does on her YouTube channel, but it's got like a television production. You know, like you
I
actually
just don't. I just don't understand like how
the
like
set.
does it like get into the pimple popping business? Like,
What?
does it get into like the business side of
Well,
pimple
I
popping?
think she's
Or
basically a dermatologist or some shit. She probably. I don't fucking know.
that's so weird. I just don't understand. They can make a whole show out of it. Like,
Because
where's the
because
narrative?
people honestly people just are interested in seeing that shit getting extracted. I know I am. Again, I've sat
That's
there
fair.
like that's me going down the rabbit hole. I'll start with that and I'll end up at earwax extractions.
Guys, I start looking at the cast members of Lord of the Rings, and I end up, I end up at earwax extractions and
It's
pimple
happened.
popping.
It's definitely happened.
Todd, what have you been playing this week? What have you been up to?
Monster Hunter, but
Jesus,
no, now it's just a
no,
joke at this point.
no.
I'm
It's the new
I'm gonna just
skateboard.
say it jokingly. It's like Skate 4.
Yeah, it's the new skateboard.
Um. So I've been playing a lot of Dark Souls Remastered for the YouTube.
We should stop and talk about that actually because you have been doing daily uploads,
Just about like every other day. Just
and
about.
it's usually multiple videos a day.
That's a good thing is I do want to talk about that. Might stop. I kind of want to focus. I want to change the way I'm doing it. I want to probably focus on one game and
Right,
actually get through it, then jump to the other game. So
right,
I've been like basically splitting my time recording Death's Gambit and Dark Souls Remastered. I want to probably move away from that and just finish Dark Souls, then do Death's Gambit, then I'm gonna do the New Game Plus of God of War. But I might actually, I still, I don't know, we'll see, because I do really want to do that New Game Plus. Uh, but for the foreseeable future, I'm gonna probably just switch it off to focusing on one game, then moving on to another, and whatnot. Because it's
right.
just like with the way where my mindset is right now, Dark Souls has been really good, keeping me not depressed.
From keeping the unemployment depression
Yes,
from.
keeping that shit from like sinking in. I've been having a lot of fun doing Dark Souls Remastered. I actually just these videos are not probably going to be up by the time this comes out because like I have like 2 or 3 episodes in the bank that I still need to like finish like working on getting them exported and all that shit.
Right.
But those cover like the DLCs. I think I did the DLCs with those. Did not expect to have Manus for like 50 minutes, but that happened. It was a good time. But I do
Sometimes
want,
that shit happens.
yeah, I do want to talk about Death's Gambit though. Like Death's Gambit is
Yeah, because you haven't had a chance to talk about
Death's
that.
Gambit's good, dude. Like I think you'd really like it, honestly. Uh, it's like Metroidvania sort of game.
There is so. It is. We are in a glut of Metroidvanias right now.
Yeah,
There's so many
yeah.
Metroidvanias from like
It's kind of like it's making a resurgence, honestly.
it's Resurgence. It's fucking ridiculous.
I
It's
know.
like we have Hollow Knight just came out on Switch. We have Dead Cells just came out. Fucking yeah. Now Death's Gambit, Guacamelee
It
2 just came
yeah.
out.
Dead Cells is a Metroidvania roguelike.
Yeah, but
But
still very
still
much
very
like
much a
Metroidvania.
Metroidvania. But yeah, Death's Gambit is a Metroidvania where a lot of the mechanics of the game are like Souls-like in a way.
Hmm.
It's fun though, man. I actually like I've been having a lot of fun with it. Like, I mean,
I
there's
watched a
not a
couple of your gameplay videos.
what's up?
I said I've watched a couple of your gameplay videos.
Yeah,
So.
I have a lot of fun with it. Like one of the main things I like about the game is the starting class actually does mean something for like how you play the game.
Mhm.
There's like a passive ability for I think each class. I almost did go the Bloodborne route, and I honestly feel like I probably would have preferred it at this point. Because
Why do you say that?
oh, dude, the regain would have been love. Like I would have loved to have the health regain.
Oh, so they actually do straight up have a regain.
Yeah, but only for the Blood Knight was it called? I don't remember. But
Hmm.
because like I went for the standard soldier, had like a great sword. You know me, I saw a great sword, and I was like, ooh,
They
ooh.
gravitated towards that. Yeah.
Yeah, I gravitated towards like Sentinel and great sword. Ended up with the great sword, which I'm having a lot of fun. Like there's like three abilities you can have equipped at a time, which two of them I know how to use. The third one I still don't know how to fucking use. I've tried. I don't get it.
Hmm.
It's like in the air, do like a guillotine chop and burn motherfuckers. I'm like, I've tried to pull it off. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Uh, but I've been having a
Yeah,
lot
I've
of fun.
seen.
Like the game does some very interesting things with one of my favorite boss fights so far has been the one I was telling you about. I don't know if you watched the video or not. Is I think it's part 3 of on YouTube. It's where I'm fighting this boss where you actually have to balance the arena.
Okay.
And
Oh yes, yes, yes. You
I was
told me about that.
I was telling you about that, dude. That shit was. I thought that shit was legit. I was like, that's fantastic. Like, it's such a cool idea. Annoying, but cool.
Yeah, it's cool that it's cool that they've introduced. It's more than just like hack and slash.
Well, yeah, there's a lot more to it. Like, there's a lot of things. Like, actually, shit. Spoilers to people that haven't played the game. There is a sci-fi sort of level in the game. It was weird.
Is it
I'm
just one level?
From what I know, I'm still on that level. That's actually where I'm at right now, and I'm actually at the boss of that area. And so
Okay.
there's a mechanic in there where are these things. So later on in the level, you have these things where there are positive and negative charges, and that's the whole point of the boss, like as well. So basically, if you have a positive charge, I think you're blue, and so there's these enemies that are negatively charged. Here's the deal: you will do so much more damage to those that are negatively charged.
Okay, so it's basically like so that mechanic is lifted from Ikaruga,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. I mean, I'm assuming they took a lot from like other games, but
Are you
it's a fun
familiar with that
mechanic.
game?
No, I've never heard of it.
Oh, Ikaruga. It's probably Ikaruga is probably the most famous shmup of all time.
Okay.
And yeah, that's kind of the mechanic of that is you have a kind of positive and negative charge that you can switch on the fly and like have to shoot corresponding colored enemies.
I don't know if you see. That's the thing. I don't know if in this game if you can switch on the fly. Like it'd be cool if you could, because I don't fucking know if you can. I mean, if I haven't figured it out or not. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty fun. And here's the other thing: is like if whatever charge you're at, you're gonna take more damage too.
Right.
So
Right.
that's actually what sucked. Like I got rocked pretty hard trying to get to the boss with these. There's these little hack and slash little jackasses that were like fucking me up. But yeah, that like the moment I got into the sci-fi area, it's so funny. Is like you go from this dark, dank, like dungeon into the sci-fi shit. You're like, what? Like I walk in, I was like, what the fuck happened? And I ended up, I have a gun now.
Oh, okay then.
Like I have an energy gun.
Now you say it's dank. Do you get some dank nugs when you're in there?
Yes.
You get to 420 blaze it.
Yeah, obviously. Actually, another thing I haven't actually fucked with it in Death Gambit yet is there are heroic rematches for the bosses.
Oh, so you can like tackle the bosses at a higher
Yeah.
difficulty.
And
What's the
apparently
incentive to do that?
they don't just get harder, they actually get new abilities.
Oh, cool. Well, what's the incentive to do that
I
though?
fuck if I know, probably like just more shards, souls, basically.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, obviously there's trophies for it. There's trophies for it. So
Right. Right. Right.
I mean, I
Right.
don't really care to platinum that game. Like, it's a good game, but I don't like care about it. Like, I don't love it that much, you know.
Right. Yeah. For you to platinum a game, you have to like
Oh,
really
I have
love
to
it.
for me to platinum a game, I gotta like absolutely love it.
Yeah.
games that I've platinumed in like the last like what fucking 4 or 5 years, Bloodborne and God of War.
Right. Yeah, it's rare. It's rare. Well, I mean, I guess not including like Telltale games.
I don't count those because you just get them.
Yeah.
Well, now you don't, but
Yeah, that shit pissed me off. I still have not gone back to that episode yet.
because it's bullshit. Like why? It's like you shouldn't. You have to
The
play
bad
it
taste
again
in
just
my
because you
mouth.
fucked up. That's stupid.
Yeah, it put a bad taste in my mouth. It really did. I'm gonna go back.
Oh, of
but-
course, because you're Todd. I mean, you're a Seth Platinum Sturgill.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm not just gonna leave. I literally missed like one collectible, one possible.
Oh, I'm gonna really look like a piece of shit right now.
Why?
Is I'm legitimately about to take a swig of bourbon out of the bottle right now.
Okay. Alcoholic. It's like 3 in the afternoon.
I want to fuck you. Who are you?
So you gotta. I mean, look, I appreciate you staying on brand.
Gotta stay on brand.
So we're gonna have to turn this into an intervention episode here in a minute. I'm just kidding. Anything else? Like what else you been doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's about it. I mean, there's more I could talk about with, like, Death's Gambit, like, some of the certain, like, mechanics, but there's really not a lot to it, because, like, I'm only, like, what, 4 bosses in now?
Uh-huh.
So it's like, I haven't seen a lot of the game. I mean, it does seem like there are, like, the good old, like, they have, like, the trainers, basically, for, like, each weapon type. And like to get like abilities, like that's a big thing. You can get like bow abilities, halberd abilities, axe abilities, longsword abilities. There's abilities all for every fucking class. And there's NPCs and whatnot. They seem interesting enough. I'll say this, probably the coolest design of Death that I've seen in a while.
It looks pretty cool.
And there's also humor. There's humor in the game. There is
Death
humor.
is like whenever you die and like the Grim Reaper kind of comes for you. That's what you're referring to.
Yeah, well, death is what you're technically working for. You are
Okay.
you've been that's actually the premise of the game is you die basically and you get raised from the dead to fight these immortals for death.
Okay.
That's the whole deal.
Well,
That's the like the gist of the game.
It's funny because that Dead Cells is not similar, but like yeah, like your character is basically dead or like a dead like experiment that has sort of risen and keeps coming back to life, and you don't really know why.
But what actually is interesting is your actual character Soren, I think is the name. Yeah, he has a story. Like you actually as you actually die, you sometimes get a little bit of backstory for your character.
That's cool.
I swear I'm calling it. I swear to God, if they do some cliche bullshit, they're showing his mother a lot. And I swear to God, if his mother is one of the immortals, I'm gonna fucking
Probably.
I
Yeah.
swear to God.
That's not low hanging.
That's like some low hanging fruit. I'm like, why are you showing me this?
I try to avoid stuff like that as a writer.
So I'm like, I don't want to like spoil myself and like look that answer up, but
Nah, you'll get to it.
yeah, so that's why I'm like, I don't care enough to look it up because I am gonna I'm gonna play through the entire game. But yeah, there is humor in the game. It was funny to me. I'm like sitting there in this I'm like right at the end of the boss area, like right by the boss area in the sci-fi area, and I go to the equivalent of a bonfire. It's a death statue.
Right. I've seen you.
Yeah, and death is just. I get to it and I see death on the side. I'm like, what the fuck? I go up to him. I talk to him. He's like, leave me alone. I'm playing a game. His ass is looking at a TV screen. I'm like, all right. The fuck?
That's cool that it's not too self-serious.
Yeah, I think they're having fun with it. It's like I enjoy it. It's like at the moment I'll give it a solid 6.5
Okay.
out of 10.
Not a bad score. So what would you say are like your problems with it?
Issues I have with a lot of just I suck at 2D shit.
Okay. What's your issue with 2D games?
I always just tend to suck at them with like especially there's like dodge mechanics. I don't even fuck with it, dude. I can't pull off the dodges at all.
Really? Why do you think that is? Because in a 3D game, You can dodge just fine.
It's knowing, it's so for me. It's like the 2D shit always fucked with me. It's there's actually one of the mini bosses I fight, and I think episode might be up. I don't know for sure. There's an enemy where I thought I dodged, but then he has a backswing that I didn't know about, and it's just like, all right, cool. I didn't know that was gonna hit me. I thought that was just kind of him putting his weapon away, but that was technically an attack. Cool. But in a 3D game, you can see where the attacks are actually gonna go, and you can.
Right, right. That's yeah. I mean, that's an interesting point. I guess I don't really play that many like 2D combat games. I guess.
That's kind of my thing. I've always tended to like. I always like. I'm getting better with like Death's Gambit. Like I think this is actually good for me. Like I'll actually start exploring more of the as they what do they call it, the 2D Souls likes.
Right. Like Salt and Sanctuary.
Because I played a little bit of that game and I just never I didn't really actually like get into it. Was that much?
It didn't grab me.
Yeah, I mean this thing. I'll give credit to Death's Gambit. That game actually like grabbed me from the like beginning. From the moment I like started playing, I was like, all right, this shit's legit.
Yeah.
I think it does a better job of because it does its own things because it is more and it's people when I love like when people talk about like that like a game like that. Oh, it's like 2D Souls. It's a Metroidvania like with souls and some shit going on, but that's about it.
Yeah. Oh, that's so true. I mean, I'm definitely interested in it. I really want to play. What I would love to, if I had more hours in the day, more free time, I would really love to play Guacamelee too. No, not Monster Hunter, Todd. But I'd really like to play Guacamelee. I really loved the first Guacamelee.
I never actually played the first one.
I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily up your alley.
What is it in the vein of?
Well, like it's a 2D, so like Guacamelee is a 2D side-scrolling Metroidvania kind of thing, but it is combat focused and it's exploration focused. It's like a brawler, like it has like fighting mechanics.
Okay.
It's very funny, very like referential, really good art and music, and like I said, I really love the first one. Really want to play the second one, just no time. I do want to check that out. There's a couple of games coming out that I'm really looking forward to. A couple good indie games coming out that I'm looking forward to. Like Donut County is finally coming out soon. That game's been in development for a long time. It's like a puzzle game where you basically just control a hole on the floor, and it's almost like think of like. Are you familiar with Katamari?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Katamari Damacy, like it's similar to that, but like rather than building up a ball, you're sucking shit into a hole, and like solving puzzles with this hole.
So you're like a black? Is it like a black hole sort of thing, like just sucking shit in?
You're just like a little sinkhole in the ground.
Okay,
basically.
That's interesting.
And you're moving this hole around, and you're like sucking stuff up, and like so for example, there may be from what I understand anyway, the game's not out yet, so I haven't played it. But there may be puzzles or something related to like make a steak, right? For example, and it's like okay, you need to find some trees that will break down into sticks when you absorb them into your hole or whatever, and then make fire, and then you find a cow and put that into the hole with the fire, and now the cow is burned and turns into steak, stuff like that.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's coming out soon. I'm looking forward to that. The Messenger is coming out on the 30th, which I'm very much looking forward to, which is that I think I told you about it. It's like a Ninja Gaiden, sort of a Ninja Gaiden like combat platformer, which is the whole mechanic is that you switch between two different worlds. One is like a kind of like 8-bit NES.
Oh yeah. You told me about that. It turns into like 8-bit, then like 16-bit or some shit.
Yeah, the other one's 16-bit. It's really really cool looking. Also been in development for a long time, but in terms of things that I've actually been playing this week, so I dove into Mafia 3 a little bit, which I wanted to talk about because that is a free game this month for PlayStation Plus, and I think that would have had to be the price for me to play it. Really,
I mean, the thing is, you've been playing it. I don't think you're gonna finish it.
No, I don't think I'm gonna go back to it. It's okay. Like it's a term that I've used before to describe games. It's aggressively okay. You know, it's just like it's like I'm playing it and just like for everything that I like about it, there's like an equal and opposite thing that I don't like about it.
Yeah.
Like the games, all the presentation side of the game is like immaculate, like really really good. Like I love the way the game looks. I love this take on New Orleans. Like it's called New Bordeaux or whatever, but but like just the vibe of it is really nice. Like the time period, the sort of post Vietnam time period is really cool. A lot of racism, um, which is accurate for the time. And the game actually opens with a nice little note from the developers saying like, oh, there's racism in the game for historical accuracy. Does not reflect our views. Blah blah blah. So
Here's the thing. I don't. It's. Did they really have to do that though? Like.
yeah, yeah, they did because in this day and age.
Yeah.
But like the characters are really really good, and the story is really really good, and the soundtrack and
But
like
it's the gameplay that's kind of
the gameplay is just really half baked. It's like nobody thought about it. Like that's what drives me crazy about these fucking Mafia games because like they're really really well considered in terms of like the story and like I feel like these guys just want to make movies. Like the story and the characters like Lincoln Clay is a great character. Like he's really interesting. Within the first 30 minutes of Mafia 3, you're more invested in Lincoln Clay than you are in any of the protagonists of say GTA 5. You know what I mean? And like it's a shame because like when you get into the actual meat of the gameplay, there's like nothing to do in the open world. And which was a problem in Mafia 2 as well, and I can't believe that they let Mafia 3 come out without more stuff to do. Like all you can really do in the open world, there's no like real like side missions or anything like that. There are some collectibles, like too many collectibles, and the collectibles are cool. It's like there's Playboy magazines, which are nice because like not only is it like hey titties,
this is
but
this is my thing with like open world games. If your open world isn't alive with shit to do, like don't even make an open world game.
yeah,
Just
it's
make it a
like,
level based game at that point. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, like it's cool because like you get all these vintage collectibles. Like I said, you get the Playboy magazine, which is cool because it's like, like I said, it's cool for the for titties. That's cool, but it's also like cool to see the vintage sort of like the write ups inside of it and stuff like that. To actually sit and read the Playboy is cool. And then you get like there's like a Hot Rod magazine and there's like album art that you can collect. Really really cool pieces of like 60s memorabilia that I really respect. But yeah, there's no like it's not like in GTA where you can like say, oh, I want to do like taxi side missions or something right now, or I want to do this or I want to do that. Like Mafia has none of that. It's all just repetitive, like half-baked. Like the structure of the game, it's a revenge tale, which within the first like hour of the game, you kind of get the gist of like, okay, you get betrayed, spoilers, and like your family is I guess kind of like killed or whatever, and you're out to get revenge for them, right? Cool, that's fine. That's a solid a motivator as any, but the way you're doing that is you're sort of attacking the branch of like a crime syndicate. So you're starting at the bottom and you're attacking like the prostitution ring and there's somebody over that, and you're attacking the smack ring and there's somebody over that, and then there's somebody who's over both of those people, then there's somebody over him, and then there's the guy at the top. So you're kind of like making your way up the pyramid until eventually you get to the boss.
And you're also like building technically your own crime family.
Yeah, you're kind of building your own. Yeah, you're kind of building your own empire, and you have like these like three characters who are kind of taking over these businesses.
I think they technically brought Buddy back from Mafia 2.
They did, yeah. So the protagonist of Mafia 2 is one of your contacts. That's cool. Like it's a cool, like it's a nice idea. I'll say that. Like the the idea is cool. I like that, but like the way that you go about doing this is the same thing, just over
boring as
and
shit.
over and over. Yeah, you just all you do, you find these informants, you get the locations of the places that you want to go and fuck up, and you rinse and repeat until eventually you get rid of all of their money, and then the boss comes out and you kill the boss, and you move on to the next one, and that's the game. Like that's what the game is, you know.
I don't even think I want to play that.
It's just boring. Like that just does not like it has such great set dressing, and it's like it's so cool to exist in this like 60s New Orleans. I like to just drive around. It's pretty, you know, I like the characters. The gameplay is just as boring as fucking sin. Like I was okay with it at first cuz you know, I put like 10 hours into the game.
I'm surprised you put that many.
Well, because I wanted to see the story. You know what I mean? Like I was trying to see more and more of it, and I was just I was trying to progress a little bit and just see where it was going. But like, it got to the point where
the gameplay is not worth it. It's not even worth to like suffer through the gameplay.
To suffer through this gameplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, at first I was okay with it because I was like, okay, this is a little like mind numbing, but whatever. Turn on a podcast or whatever. But I'm sure it'll open up later. And then when I realized that like,
never opens up.
Oh no, this is the game. This is what this is. You just do this for like 30 hours and then you finally
I can't suffer through that shit. I need fun gameplay.
And like I actually do enjoy the combat. Like I enjoy the shooting for as like weird as it is, and I like that I can get up and like melee people and stab people, and I like all of that. Like the game is so close to being good. It's frustrating. It's like really frustrating. The interesting thing, Todd, is that the game feels like a product of exactly what it is. And what I mean by that is the game's development was kind of like shifted like halfway through, because the game's been in development for fucking years.
Yeah.
And they I think closed the original studio that was working on it and moved it over to this Hangar 13, I think their name is, the development team that finished the project. And it feels like that. Like it feels like the product of a sort of half-baked game development. You know, like
reminds me of another game.
What?
Dark Souls 2.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe. But it's frustrating. The game frustrates me, and I think I'm pretty much done with it. Because a game that has surprisingly hooked me is Ōkami. Ōkami HD on the Switch. Which I don't know why. Like I could not tell you why I've been enjoying it so much.
I'll tell you guys. I'll tell everybody listening exactly why. It's on the Switch. The moment anything's on the Switch, it becomes gold.
That's probably true. I mean, it's just like I just love playing games.
It's your bias. You're biased. It's like the moment anything, like it'll be like if Mafia 3 came out on the Switch.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Well, I mean, look, I can't really say much as I'm sitting here in my Mario shirt with my wall of amiibos behind me.
Hey, man, you're my favorite in a 10-year-old.
What are you talking about, Todd? I don't have a Nintendo bias. I mean, maybe that has something to do with it. I just really... The Switch is just like... It's just my favorite machine to play video games on.
Yeah, like you always say, like it just fits your life right now.
Well, yeah, it fits my lifestyle really well. Like it's nice to have it on the go when we're on our way to, going out of town for wedding shopping or whatever, or when I'm going to my parents to do laundry or whatever the case may be. But I just as a home console, like I really love holding that Switch Pro controller is like an excellent controller.
Oh yeah, the Switch Pro controller is definitely it's easily in my like top 5.
And like the user interface is so nice and like snappy, and it's funny. And this goes to show something. It's also kind of nice to just like not have the stress, because I have like 3 friends on Switch, and it's like
me and like 2 other people.
Yeah, it's like you, Provost, and my buddy Kenny, and like it's like that's it, and like it's so like the barrier of entry is so low. I don't have to worry about like disappointing anybody who wants to play with me on PS4.
And that's exactly why I appear offline. I've been appearing offline on PS4 for like months.
For 7 years. I don't know. Like, there's something nice to just like log in. There's nothing's expected of me on Switch, socially. And then like I also, as much as I love trophies, I also kind of like that I don't have to worry about trophies on Switch. Like, I kind of like not having that itch in the back of my head of like, oh, what's the trophy list like or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's a very stress-free.
Oh, by the way, can I talk about something? This is a little tangent. It's not going to be long.
Yeah.
So I recently just got back my. I don't think I talked about this on the podcast, but I recently just got back my my original Xbox Live account.
Oh right.
My boy playing Toad. But I was, obviously I've been playing a little bit of my Xbox now. I've been like fucking around a little bit with the second Tomb Raider. What is it? I don't even remember what it's called.
Rise of the Tomb Raider.
There you go, Rise. Playing a little bit of that, getting some achievements. Tell me why, like, achievements just feel so much better to me than trophies.
Really?
I don't know why.
I would have told you that on the 360 era. I think something's lost now.
I don't know. I just, you know what it is? I really like seeing. I'll say. I think what it boils down to is I like seeing my gamer score, that big ass number that I have.
I mean, look, I have a ridiculous.
Oh, you have wait shit. I have a decent amount. You have way more.
I think I have over 100,000.
Yeah, and I have like, I don't remember exactly, but it's nowhere near that. But
well, look, on the previous generation, like 360 was my console of choice. It's everybody's console of choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I liked achievements back then. I think something was kind of lost when we went to Xbox One because. For a few reasons. I don't like that they do the leaderboard thing.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of leaderboard shit either.
I'm not a big fan of that. Not because I don't like competition, but because I like subtle competition. I like having to actually go and like work for it if I want to compete with somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think what it boils down for me is I just like gamer score over that like number that you have for it's like a level.
Yeah, the number itself isn't what I like. Like, I actually think they could completely do away with the number if they wanted to.
Yeah, it's just the number of platinums would be better.
Well, it's not even just I like seeing the number of the individual trophies.
Yeah, I do like that too.
And I like that the thing that irks me about gamer score is that, say, to compare and contrast, like so for God of War, for example, we have the platinum in God of War. We're always going to have the platinum. Nobody can take that away from you, right? When you're playing on Xbox One, say you get 1,000 gamer score in the game and you maxed it out, blah blah blah, and DLC comes out. Well, now you don't have max gamer score.
Yeah, I will give you that. It's probably like the downside to it.
I don't like that. Now they do have the percentages on PlayStation, but you're always going to have that platinum, signifying that you did 100% the vanilla game. You know.
I feel that.
So that's a major reason why I prefer trophies over achievements at this stage of my life. Don't get me wrong, I do love trophies, but it is nice to turn on my Switch and not have to worry about it. To just play the game and not necessarily feel like I have to 100% it.
Well, it's because you are simply just playing the game. You don't have to worry about you don't have to do a full completion run type shit unless you want to.
Yeah, I mean, there is still that part of my brain that's never going to turn off, you know?
Yeah.
But it is kind of nice to, like, just the Switch is a very stress-free, very just clean, snappy console, and it's just a great, I'm not trying to sound like a fucking ad, but it's just a very pleasurable gaming experience.
This episode's sponsored by Nintendo. No, I'm just...
Yeah, I wish it was. Shit. I would be such a shill for Nintendo. I would sell out for Nintendo so fast.
Like, dude, you already suck Nintendo's dick. It's like
you're my cousin and I love you. I would stab you in the back so fast for Nintendo. You know that, right? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We'll never sell out, Todd. We'll never sell out.
We'll see about that.
Um, but yeah, Okami, is a game that I think I've bought like 17 times over the years. Like I got it when it originally came out on PS2, which was like the only time that I actually beat the game. Um, and then I bought it again on Wii because I was like, oh, the motion controls, that's gonna be cool. And I turned it on for like an hour, and I was like, oh yeah, that was cool, and then put it down.
Never played it again.
Never played it again. I bought it on PS3 with Ōkami HD. Picked it up for like an hour. Oh
Oh,
yeah,
this looks pretty good. All right.
yeah, still a good game. And then put it down. And then did the same thing on PS4 like last year, and same thing. That was pretty good. Put it down. Never played it again. When the Switch version came out, I don't know what possessed me to buy it for like a fifth time, but I did.
You just wanted to see if it was still good.
I guess so. I guess I just keep dipping my toes back in that pool.
It's
But,
actually a game I never actually played.
it's really, really good. Like the game is just a cameo from Ollie here, who's trying to climb on me right now. It's just a really great Zelda game, honestly. That's really what it is.
Okay.
It's basically a 3D Zelda game. Some would say that it is the best 3D Zelda game. I've heard a lot of people say that just sort of in discourse, like, oh, it's actually the best 3D Zelda. I don't know if I'd go that far, but like, I'll take Ōkami over like Twilight Princess any day.
I think a lot of
Yeah.
people would take that over Twilight Princess.
I'll take Ōkami over like a lot of, it's a very, very good. It is the best possible Zelda clone. And
Okay.
it does some really interesting design decisions. One thing that I really like about, so if you didn't know, this game, along with a few others back in that era, was made by a studio called Clover Studio, which was headed up by Kamiya, who, he and a lot of the Clover developers went on to found Platinum, right? And one thing that I really like about Clover games and Ōkami and now a lot of Platinum games is they do a lot of like just really fun, interesting things with their design that incentivize just playing the game.
Yeah.
Like, and you know more about Nier than I do, but I'm sure it's present in Nier where just like the minutia of the game is incentivized by its design.
Mm.
Like, for example, in Ōkami, like you'll see kind of like almost random encounters, like kind of littered throughout the world. You see these scrolls floating around, and when you touch them or when they touch you, you get into a kind of like mini combat scenario.
Okay.
So your first instinct is like, oh fuck, I don't want to fight these guys. I want to get to my next objective, get to this next puzzle or whatever the case may be. But the game incentivizes you to actually fight enemies, not just by like money or score or whatever, but there's like a hit list kind of thing of like if you're traveling at night and you get into a combat scenario, there's a chance that there's going to be a special enemy that's on this kind of like wanted list, right? So if it's nighttime and I see a scroll like an enemy encounter, I'm incentivized to be like, oh shit, I'm actually going to go and do that.
Check that out. See if it's a special enemy.
See if I get one of the special.
That's actually interesting. I like that.
That's a really just nice little mechanic, and it's really cool that they introduce, there's the paintbrush mechanic, and that's just a really smart, innovative mechanic that like there's not really a huge limit on it. They just kind of let you play with it, and I really like that. The game's full of stuff like that. You can just kind of experiment, and then the story is good. The movement, like I was describing to you, it's nice to play on Switch because it has the HD rumble. So you're running around and you can sort of feel Amaterasu's like footsteps kind of pitter patter in your hand as you're holding the the HD rumble.
That actually interests me because I actually want to see more done with the HD rumble.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's cheap. It's like $20. The game is long. So like, for example, a standard playthrough would probably take you anywhere in the ballpark of like 30 to 40 hours.
Damn. Okay.
If you're going for 100%, 60, 70, 80 hours. Easy. It's a nice, meaty game. It's a lot of bang for your buck. The game runs great on Switch. I have not seen any slowdown on the. I'll tell you what, when you have it undocked, when you're doing it in handheld mode, the game looks fucking just breathtaking. Like, because it has that really nice art style that's sort of like that sort of early Japanese
Yeah.
sort of painting art style, and it just looks great. I don't know. It's just a really. I think a lot of people, even fans of, even like old school fans of Ōkami, are saying that this is the best version of the game.
Okay.
And what's nice is you can actually play the game with the Joy-Cons detached, and you can use motion controls just like you could in the Wii version to do the painting and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
So it feels like you're actually painting. Now, that said, I'm playing primarily with the Pro Controller, and it's fine. Like, drawing with the analog stick is totally fine.
Yeah.
But no, it's just something about it has really scratched an itch for me right now, and like really kind of like drawn me in a way that I did not expect. And I'm like, oh, I think this is going to be my real big like video game sort of distraction until Spider-Man and Forsaken come out next month. Really just a couple weeks away. Yeah.
I think the next game I'm going to pick up on Switch is probably going to be Dead Cells.
Dead Cells is so good.
Yeah,
I've been playing a lot of that still too.
Yeah, I think
that's such a good like.
I think that's gonna be a perfect game for me, especially coming up on your wedding.
Yeah, for the road, that'll be really good. Coming up on that long road trip.
It's shit, 9 hours to Kentucky, to pick up our grandma.
And like 8 to 9 hours from there to get to Louisiana.
Some good shit.
Yeah, Dead Cells is really nice. Like, Dead Cells is like a really good like after dinner mint. Like, it's just nice. Like I kind of do just like a quick run on Dead Cells like before I jump off, basically for the day.
I feel that.
It's just nice and chill. I don't know. I really like it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to messing around with it.
Definitely worth your time. There's, I should maybe as a topic next week or something. I should do just like a kind of a Switch recommendations thing, because like not just for you, but for like the listeners of like the sort of like standout games on Switch. That might be a good topic.
No.
I don't know. Just something to have chronicled. Just the good games that are good for different scenarios.
All you really gotta do is just like you start the video and just like everything. Just
everything. The end.
It's a good show. No, it's like fuck it.
Anyway, that's pretty much all I had this week. Was there anything else you wanted to add before we wrap it up?
I think that's about it, man.
Cool. Sounds good. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll catch you next week. Get fucking dunked on. Bye.
See ya.